Hey guys, what's up? It's Arnold. So really quick before we jump into the video, while I have the attention of everyone who's clicked on the video, before we get into the intro, before we get into the reaction, I just want to let you guys know that there is going to be a bit of a statement slash message slash status update on Red versus Blue videos in particular. Don't worry, nothing is getting delayed, no hiatuses. It's mainly to give context on the last 2 weeks because at the time of me sitting down right now to record this, there hasn't been any uploads on the channel, both on YouTube or on Patreon for Red versus Blue, and I wanted to just give some much needed context to that as to why that's been the case. I have let people know on Twitter in the YouTube community tab, but there are some people that don't use either one of those avenues for information or updates on me, and it's going to be put at the very end of the video. So if you typically watch videos from start to finish, you guys will see it. If some of you guys, don't stick around for the whole thing or just stick around for the reaction, at the very least, go to the end of the video, check out that message that I'm relaying to you guys to give you guys context and understanding of what's going on. And just know that I am still going to be continuing to finish Chorus Trilogy in 2020, which is really good because we've been on a really good pace so far this year. We're over the halfway mark of Season 12, the second act. I basically have 3 reaction batches, including this one. I have to check out one of the songs that's in Season 12. I'm going to do the Season 12 review, and then we're going to be starting Season 13, which I'm basically just going to be juggling Season 13 along with Ruby 8 because I'm caught up with Ruby, and Red vs. Blue I'm catching up to. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Twitch streaming to make up for that, so I have time to record and edit and be consistent and not have any more delays. Like I said, I let people know on Twitter and the YouTube posts, so some people probably are already aware of what I'm going to talk about, but I just think it's important to just give context and let you guys know what's been going on with me the last couple of weeks, because I don't want anyone to worry too much, but at the same time, some things like this will genuinely happen, and I just want to let you guys, I just don't want anyone to get scared and feel like I'm just going to drop the show and stop watching it, because I'm in the middle of this trilogy and I do want to finish it, and I'm super invested, especially with the last batch. I want to see where this one goes, because we're getting back to a really good, exciting spot that I've been really looking forward to, with Carolina and Epsilon being back in particular. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that first and foremost before we jump in. Consider this the intro, but thank you guys all so much for the support. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining me. So yeah, we're gonna be starting the next batch for Red vs. Blue with Season 12. This is gonna be my reaction to episodes 11, 12, and 13. Officially over the halfway point, and especially with how the last batch ended, super excited to get into this one, seeing Epsilon and Carolina back in the picture with the gang. I more so than anything really hope, fingers crossed, they give perspective on what's been going on, because I think halfway through Season 11, I just gave up on the fact that we would see Carolina and Epsilon, especially because they were left off on leaving the Reds and Blues at the end of Season 10. We didn't see them at all in Season 11. We got that end credit scene that she was going to show up. She mentioned to Locus, I'm on my way. I think she was playing a little bit of a front when it came to being Control at that point, and then all the way up to this point for Season 12, what's she been up to? Where has she been? You know what I mean? So I really hope it gives context to like what she's been up to, what she's been doing, what information she's figured out, and how she exactly managed to slip into the ranks of Locus's squad. Obviously, more than anything, it's just really great to see them too, because they were a big part of Project Freelancer. They were the swan song of that season, especially with their connections to the director, being the director's memories and the director's daughter. So I'm just really happy to see them. The fact that she went toe to toe with one of the mercenaries was great. That's something that I've also just had in my mind, like, how will Carolina respond or react to the mercenaries? And she managed to go up against Felix. But yeah, that last batch, that was probably one of the best bait and switches that I've ever experienced in a story or in a show before. It's also partially my fault as a viewer and as a person in general who typically sees the best in people. I don't ever really see someone who's very genuine and understanding, or seemingly like Felix, someone that wanted to pass on words of wisdom, wanted to help train the Reds and Blues, just turn around and be just an absolute scumbag of a person, to where he relishes in this. You know what I mean? He does what he does best. He kills, he deceives, he cons people out. He obviously wants to focus on his money. And it was a very different perspective to see Miles in, something that I feel like he had a really fun time going through with that, because, Jean's a fucking Boy Scout in Ruby. You know what I mean? He's always doing the right thing and all that stuff. And I know Miles also plays a similar role in Camp. So to see Miles be in that devious, villain role, it is really cool to see, and it definitely showed that he played that role really, really well. I don't really know how else we're going to see Felix now, because it's kind of tough for me to see him in that light after he's been such a role model of sorts. You know, I felt so betrayed alongside the Reds and Blues because this man, I've been like following this man's word. I've been like, I got so fucking duped, you know, and the community did too back at the, you know, back in the day. I did go back and see a couple of Miles's tweets at the time where he's just like laughing maniacally as the community's coming to realize that he's just like conned everybody in this like this long con 200 IQ play for these characters that he's written up, which I really, really appreciate. I don't really know at this point now, like, where does the story go for Felix and for Locust? Because if they've actually been buddy-buddy this whole time, in my mind, I was like, oh, they're actually opposing factions, and they used to be buddies, so maybe there's just still some friendship there. Oh, there is some friendship there, but it's just like, you know, they're working side by side. That's like, fuck everybody else, we got each other's back because we're the best in the business. Also, their employer, pretty sure it's Malcolm Hargrove. I talked about it at length in the last batch, but it just, all directions are pointing it to be him because he is a factor that was never addressed during Project Freelancer. It's a factor that's never been addressed, you know, especially Charon Industries as well. So I feel like those missing pieces to the puzzle of the last couple of seasons are going to be the shock value, plot twist, you know, events that are going to take the center stage. At this point, maybe that's something that Carolina comes to reveal if that's like part of the information that she was discovering. But overall, very, very excited to see where this goes. Really happy to have Carolina and Epsilon back. More than anything, just having them two back. Obviously, everyone's on the same page. The main focus now is to try to relay to the Federalists of Chorus and the New Republic that the people that they're relying on most to win this war are the ones that are directly and actively sabotaging both sides. You know, they're fueling the fire, they're keeping the hate train a chugging, as Felix said. And yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting how this plan fares out. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we have Vanessa Kimball, we have I forgot his first name, but Doyle. I think his first name started with a D. But yeah, Doyle and Kimball are the leaders of both sides. So I like the best thing that I love is that Felix wanted to go on his monologue rant, relate the entire plan of operations for this operation that Malcolm Hargrove, I'm assuming, wants for them to destroy all the people of Chorus, just so he can have a fucking planet to his name. That's like some fucking, that's like some, I don't know, that's next level, like, ridiculousness. Like, yo, I want a planet, but people live on it, so let's try to go and kill all of them. And if it is Malcolm Hargrove, that directly contradicts his way of telling the director, you know, we have to, you know, abide by protocol, and we have to, you know, we have to earn our humanity, and we can't sacrifice our humanity for the future or anything like that. And then he turns around and wants to commit mass genocide on a planet. So don't really know how that's gonna fare. I don't really know what the fate of Felix and Locust are gonna be. Who's gonna take them out? Because they're like on like some freelancer levels, and we only have one of those right now. Well, we have two of those with Felix, with Carolina and Washington. You know, and obviously Washington wants to do his best to protect the soldiers, to protect the friends that he's made. Carolina and Epsilon are back too, so I'm just really excited to see how things are going to fare right now, because that was the biggest monkey wrench you could have thrown at me. And the number one thing I was not expecting was to be betrayed halfway through, right dead in the middle of this arc. And now I have to see how it plays out. And everything else that, you know, that applies to that. But I'm more so than anything, I'm happy to have Carolina back. I'm super happy to have Epsilon back. I really can't wait to see Caboose's reaction to Epsilon being back more than anything. You know, obviously the thing that happened with Freckles is unfortunate, but they were able to salvage his memory chip, so maybe they can salvage Freckles for Caboose in some way. But yeah, other than that, those are just all of my initial thoughts before we jump into this one, into this next batch. I do want to say again, thank you guys all so much for your patience, your understanding. I know that this has been a delay, but moving forward, the delay should no longer be happening. I should be well on my way to finishing season 12 of the Chorus trilogy by the end of November, and December, January will most likely be for Ruby Volume 8 and for Red vs. Blue Season 13. But more so than anything, again, thank you guys all so much for the continued support, both on YouTube and especially on Patreon. And I want to give an extra special thank you to the guys and gals in the Wizard of Remnant tier and higher, that being Bungle Queen, Ezra Lee, GOTEKAI, Jacob EYER, Jamie Coleman, Jonathan Hall, JUUBEARSKI, KIBA BOWDAWAY, Matthew TRAPP, and Michael. Thank you guys all so much for the support. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And without further ado, let us begin. All right, guys, we're going to be jumping into Red vs. Blue Season 12 with episodes 11, 12, and 13. So I hope you guys look forward to it. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And we're going to be starting this in 3, 2, 1, now. Weeks earlier. Oh, meanwhile! Oh, this is Carol! Abandoned FAC munitions plant. Oh, this is what she's been up to! Is this Control? The black armor! Is this Locust's squad? Motion detector security room. Oh! Oh! And she's in the room! She's in the room where it happens. Oh, this guy's about to get wrecked, dude. Oh my god! Wait, or maybe it's Epsilon, because, like, remember Delta was able to go into the controls and stuff?
Come in, security. This is headquarters.
Where is she?
Jesus. Yeah, copy HQ.
She's in here.
You scared the crap out of me, Harv. Sorry, Sam. Hey, meant to tell you. Got a maintenance ticket for your console. Day shift says throwing up warnings.
Yeah,
okay. Motion sensor says there's movement in the room, but...
She's probably in there, dude. You better be careful.
Then, you know, bad indicator or something. Or maybe it's that super soldier right behind you who's about to knock you out. Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh my god, the black armor!
That last one. Just a guess. Sleep tight, Tim.
Epsilon!
You set off the motion sensor, Carolina? It's amateur hour.
You're supposed to disable the motion sensors.
Well, I couldn't do that until I got in the room.
And I couldn't get you into the room without setting off the motion sensor.
Oh
But
my
you could.
god, they're working together!
Can we just get into the database? I need the files.
Already in.
Oh my god, here we
How long
go.
to decrypt it?
Oh, please. Already done.
Already?
It's a 3-tier lockdown for the 2056-bit encryption key.
Yo, he's
Ain't
got all
rocket
the
science.
Delta
You're getting
memories.
faster.
Well, that sounded like a compliment. I will take it.
Wow.
How long to transfer?
About 45 seconds.
And you can't make that go any quicker?
Well, that's a limitation of physical media. Don't even get me started on that. Besides, that should give you enough time to deal with the 3 security personnel who are about to come through the door.
Oh my god,
Which
dude,
door?
they're so
There's
in
only one door.
sync.
They just had a breaching charge, by the way. What? Detonates in 3?
Why didn't you tell me?
2?
He just told you.
Epsilon?
1? Oh, you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Fire. Whoa, who are these guys? Oh, is this... What the fuck? What just happened? Oh,
If
is he
45
like...
seconds was a long time to you, Carolina, imagine what it is to me.
Holy fuck.
Alright. What do we have here?
He's like processing time
Well, you boys look well armed.
at like a fraction of a
Just one
second.
girl, huh?
Dude,
Really? Model
Alpha!
44s?
Correct!
Isn't there a high jam probability on those things?
Delta! Oh my god! He's at... Oh!
You're thinking of the 42.
His other memories! Oh my goodness! This is the best thing ever! Are we gonna get all of his other
weird
fragments?
Technically, only you are thinking it. I am just a memory of Delta.
Well, I like to have someone to talk to.
Oh my
get lonely
goodness!
May I suggest buying a dog?
Yeah, I'll consider it.
Dude!
We're getting a dog?
No, Theta.
Model 44 does use computer-assisted aim. It could overload the processor and reduce accuracy by as much as 45%.
Sounds good. Put the twins on it.
The twins! Dude! Every fragment! Every single
Alright, let's
fragment!
account for that in trajectories.
Are you talking to me or to Delta?
He's talking to all of us, Theta.
I'm just thinking out loud, guys.
Oh my god! We're gonna get Gary and Omega 2?
Alright,
Sigma?
that's good, but we can do better.
Holy shit! Dude, he's processing this entire thing!
Oh, look at this. You can use the door as a shield.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Oh my goodness gracious! This is insane. This is Epsilon's moment right
that's
here.
better.
Still, blood loss would be.
I'm not done yet, Delta. Just give me a second, okay?
A
Jesus.
second is a long
So these are
time for someone
Charon
on
these are
time.
Charon dudes.
Just, listen, everybody stop talking to me at once, please.
So I was right.
Angry, Epsilon.
No,
Oh,
I'm
Becca!
fine. Beat it.
Here if you need.
He won't need you.
Hey, he can't do anything as long as we ignore him. Okay, kiddo?
Oh my
Message
God,
is
father
heavy,
and
healing
son
you
right
make.
there.
Nope, I'm gonna need the power
Project
of her
Freelancer
escape.
enhancements.
Soon you can make it that far.
Bro, there's gonna be so much research.
With the negativity. Why don't you help me out and give me a bioscan of these losers?
This one has recently had knee surgery.
Thank you. Okay,
Oh,
let's blow the
dude,
bolts
that's
on that maintenance hatch, give him
crazy.
a little bit of a stumble.
Bro, Alpha's doing all the damn work.
All right, let's wrap this up. Gamma, where are we at?
Gamma!
Okay, Carolina, how's your aim?
She hasn't been sleeping well.
Dude, he's
Been having
harnessed the
bad
powers
dreams
of all
about the
of his
bad guy.
all of his.
No, Theta, she's fine. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about
God, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit.
Delta.
I'm actually gonna lose my
Fine.
shit,
This
dude.
isn't very scientific.
Well, sometimes you just have to operate on faith.
That seems unwise.
Yeah, but it
They
is
gave me
more
every single
fun.
character.
There, that'll do it.
She won't like that injury part.
She never does, but if she lives to complain about it, she still lives.
Dude,
Thanks, guys.
dude.
All
He
right.
just fucking
just you and me,
broke
sis.
down the entire,
Analysis
like,
to your
he
HUD.
just systematically, like,
Let's do this.
deconstructed this entire fight. Oh my God, the foot, yep. The sheet, oh shoot. Calculated. Oh, there you go.
Epsilon.
Oh, that's where she got the armor from.
Yeah, I'm here. I just lost a few pathways, but I can still hear you. How'd you do?
Had to improvise at the end, but you got me started.
Holy shit. He did all the work.
Data's
Put
here.
some respect
Looks
on
like our
his
little
name.
scavenger hunt just got easier. You see this?
Yep. Grab a helmet. We'll do some
Holy
repairs on the way.
fuck. Literally,
Sorry, there's nothing that I can do about that in
Locust's
this
squad.
state. You need to move.
Already gone.
holy fuck, dude.
Apparently our friends in black
I need
aren't-
a second. Holy fuck, I need a second. Holy shit, I need a second, dude. Wow. I honestly don't think I processed that entire scene properly. Dude, we saw Delta, Theta, Sigma, Alpha, Omega, Eta, and Iota, all through Alpha, all through Epsilon's memories, dude. They're all like Epsilon versions, right? Obviously, Epsilon Tex is no longer there, but like those are all like so it's Epsilon Theta, Epsilon Delta, Epsilon Gamma, Epsilon, like Epsilon strands, the same way that the Texas was. Oh my God. Holy shit, dude. So like Carolina's over here talking shit like, oh, you need me just as much as I need you. No. All right. I think Epsilon deserves a little bit more credit than you're giving him based on the amount of work he just put in that one fucking scene. All right. I have to go back to that scene. I know a lot of people probably just could be like, oh my God, we have to read it. I was fanboying so fucking hard that I didn't pay attention to a single word that was being said other than like the minor pieces of like analysis that Epsilon was doing with like processing like how he was going to take down all of those enemies. Holy fuck, that was crazy. All right, so I've dialed it down a little bit. I'm going to rewatch this scene to see how it plays out and actually hear what the characters are saying because all of the fragments are talking to each other. But oh my God, I can't believe they're back. And this is all happening within seconds. All right.
45 seconds was a long time to you, Carolina.
45 seconds.
Imagine what it is to me. All right.
Yeah, you measure your life in milliseconds. Dude, it's so great to hear Bernie
you boys look
too.
well armed. All this for just one girl, huh?
Yeah, well, she's a freelancer.
Really? Model 44s?
Damn, straight harassing them for their models. Charon Model 44 caseless submachine gun.
Hey, D?
D!
Is there a high jam probability on those things?
The Chiron Model 44 sidearm does not jam. You're thinking of the 42.
Oh, damn, someone's a little smarter than you. Yeah, they're all locked on. Okay, so then they go about trying to find ways.
Technically, only you are thinking it. I am just a memory of Delta.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
I
my
like to
God,
talk to you.
Theta!
I get lonely sometimes.
Little trust.
May I suggest buying a dog?
Yeah, I'll consider it.
We're getting a dog?
Oh, the dog for Theta.
Model
That's
44
great.
does use computer-assisted aim. You could overload the processor and reduce accuracy by as much as 45%.
Damn,
Good.
aim
Put the twins on
assist.
it.
That's a Halo reference right there. Oh, the twins. Oh, the twins actually reduce the accuracy.
All right, let's account for that.
Oh, that's so
trajectories.
Are you
good.
talking to me or to Delta?
He's talking to all of us. Theta.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud, guys.
This is so awesome. Oh,
Alright, nah,
it's
that's
like a
good,
real-time
but we can do
schematic
better.
of his plan. He's like real-time strategy right now. It's like a game. Wow.
Oh, look at this. You can use the door as a shield.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Good shit. Wow, calculated to a T,
Yeah,
man.
that's better.
Still, blood loss would be...
I'm not done yet, Delta. Just give me a second, okay?
Delta,
A second
relax.
is a long time for someone in our time base, Church.
Just listen. Everybody, stop talking to me at once, please.
Are you being angry, Epsilon?
No,
Oh,
I'm fine.
are you angry? You can always use me, dude.
He's scary.
Hey, he can't do anything as long as we ignore him. Okay, kiddo?
Might I suggest...
I'm
prepping
so
our
happy
healing
to
unit?
see them
Nope,
again.
I'm gonna need the power for her escape.
Hold on, let me go back real quick. I didn't get a look at that real quick. Hold on.
Scary.
Hey, he can't do anything as long
Don't worry,
as we
Theta
ignore
will
him.
keep you safe.
kiddo?
Epsilon Theta.
Might I suggest prepping her healing unit?
Project Freelancer armor enhancements, speed boost, healing unit, holographic projections, active camo, adaptive camo, temporal. Oh, so these are all of the other armor abilities. Yeah, so like active camo, that was Carolina's. Temporal distortion, that was Wyoming. Domed energy shield, that was North Dakota. Strength boost, enhanced motion tracking. I don't remember all of these. Holographic projections. I don't remember if anyone had that one either. Yeah, Carolina's got 5. She's got the EMP. Yo, yo, Washington's gonna be gassed. She's got the EMP. She's got bioscan, adaptive camouflage. So that's hers. I always called it reactive camouflage, but it's adaptive camouflage. She also's got the healing unit, so that's good. All right, and the speed boost. Good shit. Hey guys, what's up? Future Arnold. So really quick, I wanted to put this insert at the beginning here because I feel like a lot of people are going to send me a comment filling me in on what the exact Project Freelancer enhancements are. It's not the fact that I didn't know what they were. It's just been years for some of these episodes, right? We saw some of the enhancements during the mini-series, seasons 8, seasons 9, season 10, and it's been at least a year since I watched some of these. So I did write down the list here of all the ones that I do remember, just to kind of give context and understanding so no one ends up leaving the comment of like, these are all the ones specifically because you didn't remember them. So the speed boost obviously is Carolina, the blue blur.
Well, snap out of it. I need you. Need me for what?
Holographic projection was CT, which has that really cool effect that I like listening to. Active camouflage, of course, Texas.
What did I say? I said one thing. Keep them in front of me.
Adaptive camouflage, Carolina, like mother, like daughter, kinda.
We're 4 of them here. What the fuck is going on?
Temporal distortion was Wyoming, and that was the big reveal during the Blood Gulch Chronicles days.
Oh, I hit him! I hit him! I can't believe I hit. I mean, I knew the sniper rifle was awesome. This is just like last time. Once Wyoming lost, everything seemed to reset.
Bubble shield was North Dakota with the help of Theta.
Power dropping. Theta, use remaining power to compensate for critical tiles.
Okay.
The EMP. Who can forget the EMP? Washington.
Thank you. Failsafe initiated. Activating EMP.
And you have got to be fucking.
I don't know if this is confirmed, but I think strength boost was main, right? He's already a fucking walking tank, so why not give him that extra manpower? I'm pretty sure the strength one was him.
Cover! Don't worry, we'll just do what we did last time.
Enhanced motion tracking actually threw me off a little bit because I think we've only seen it once, but it was also North Dakota. I think South also had it too because he ends up telling her in the episode, the twins, set your goddamn trackers so he can keep tabs on if anyone was around her in that episode.
Set your motion trackers.
Nah,
Takes too long.
So does getting caught. Set your trackers.
I see the objective. Going to initiate transfer.
While it's loading, set your goddamn tracker.
I actually had to go back and watch a couple of episodes to figure this one out, but Bioscan is also Washington.
Hold on! Let me pull up the biocom. Check his pulse rate. You can monitor our vitals? I can check on the whole squad during combat. Keeps me up to date. It doesn't work on you for some reason. Yeah, I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for that.
They also had like the overshield, but I think the meta had overshield as well. They didn't have it here, but Carolina does have 5 of them under her belt. So I just wanted to make this video before everybody and their mother just types out all of the enhancements and who they belong to. It's just been a couple of years, and for me to remember that on the spot, on top of seeing like Theta and Delta and all of this exciting stuff for the first time, it was a little bit much, but I did want to put this here as an insert just to let you guys know that I do remember now. So yeah, anyways, enjoy the reaction.
Unit.
That's
I'm
so
gonna
sick.
need the power for her escape.
Assuming we make it that far.
Hey!
You are killing me with the negativity. Why don't you help me out and give me a bioscan of these
What was
losers?
Sigma doing?
This one has recently had knee surgery.
Bioscan!
Okay,
so that's
let's
the
blow the holes on
bioscan ability. So she's getting that through Delta. Bioscan titanium. Something in the right leg. Okay, so that's why they were able to, like, when the flooring like fell apart, like messed up, that's why she was actually like a little hurt by that because of her injury.
Bolts on that maintenance hatch give him a little bit of a stumble.
Wow.
Shot fired.
All right, let's wrap this up. Gamma, where we at?
Come.
File still transferring.
Okay, Carolina.
Wow, I can't believe Gamma's not
She hasn't been
deceiving.
sleeping well.
She's been having bad dreams about the bad guy.
No, Theta, she's fine. Don't worry about it.
What's Sigma doing?
Delta.
Bro, I do not trust Sigma right now, dude. She's having a bad dream about the bad guy?
Sometimes you just have to operate on faith.
So she knows who it is?
Yeah, but it is more.
3 kills,
Fine.
0
There, that'll
kills,
do
3
She don't like
KOs.
that injury part.
She never does, but.
Right, here we
listen,
go.
Complain about it. She still lives. Thanks, guys.
Alright, let's
All
do
right.
this.
Looks like it's just you and me, sis. Transfer analysis.
Sis!
HUD.
Oh my god!
Let's do this.
Oh, brother and sister, technically. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, right there. Got him. Close. 1 shot instead of 3.
Bitch!
Wow.
Come on. Church! Yeah, I'm here. I just
I
lost a
love
few
how he
pathways,
called her
but I can
sis.
still hear you. How'd you do?
Had to improvise at the end, but you got me started.
I had faith.
Thanks. Data's here. Looks like our little scavenger hunt just got easier.
Good shit. I wonder what that data is now.
Yep. Grab a helmet. We'll do some repairs on the way.
Oh, that's why she swapped helmets, maybe? Because
Sorry,
hers got
there's nothing that I
damaged.
can do about that in this state. You need to move.
Already
Alright.
gone.
Here we go. Yo. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Apparently our friends in black aren't just focused on armor enhancements. These weapons are more advanced than anything we've encountered.
Yeah.
How are they funding all this?
Well,
Karan Industries!
speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Another message from Control?
Yep. I picked out a clip you might find interesting.
Oh!
What did we lose?
The healing unit, as well as several miscellaneous files.
Holy
Sounds
fuck!
like last week's raid made the headlines.
Keep listening. There's something you need to hear.
This is unacceptable.
Karan Industries.
I thought you told me you only worked with reliable partners.
I do. The individual in charge of that outpost has been eliminated. I saw to the matter personally.
I'm not paying you to put bullets through the heads of space pirates. I'm paying you to ensure the acquisition of my property.
Is this
When
Malcolm?
I lose my property, you lose your payment.
If I could interject for a
Dude,
second.
he's talking
You're not
with
just
them!
paying us to collect that freelancer tech from the crash.
Wait,
Freelancer tech.
Felix, straying away from the New Republic to join the conversation for once. To what do we have the pleasure?
Those sim troopers you dumped on us are proving to be more of a
That's how
handful
she
than
knows that they're
assassin.
there.
If they find where we're keeping Wash, and if Kimball thinks they're ready, I'm not going to be able to stop them from searching for their leaders. And if they find their leaders, this whole Civil War
Goes-
charade's going to fall apart real
Fuck.
quick.
what?
I can assure you, they will never be ready.
That's what I
That's
said,
what you
but
think.
My partner isn't convinced.
We will continue to move Agent Washington's group sporadically and
Sir,
Oh.
what if they do manage to make contact?
Contact!
positive behavior does not suit you, Locus. If the Reds and Blues manage to reunite, Kill them.
Oh!
Carolina, we have to go back.
That's
What the hell is
why.
going on this planet?
That's why they made the
Figure
move
that
to
out along
attack
the way.
them.
Right now, we just need to get back to the guys. If Control has infiltrated both sides of this war.
I know.
They know about it
Covering
too.
equipment can wait.
Actually, there's one more thing I want to pick up.
Holy
What?
shit.
We're a long way from the guys. So
Tell
what we
them-
need is a shortcut.
Oh my god, they know all the tech, dude! That's how she knew to use it. Wow! That's such a good, like, filler of all the stuff that's happened so far.
How bad is it?
Holy
well,
shit.
fortunately, he missed your femoral artery. That's good.
Oh yeah, 'cause he
No,
stabbed her.
sweetie, you had a knife inside of you. That's the opposite of good. Call me sweetie again.
Oh,
and
boy.
there'll be a knife inside of you. Oh boy, you're hostile. I'd love to psychoanalyze you. The leg,
Oh
please.
boy.
Oh, yes. Be sure
Do
not to put
people
any
ship these
unnatural
too?
strain on those muscles. If you reopen the wound, it won't be pretty.
Great. Hey, way to go, Carolina.
Wow.
Taking out
Emily
my
Gray.
oversized steak
Love to have her.
Well, maybe if someone had remembered to account for hidden blades.
Come
they would
on
be
now. You really want him to account for everything?
So, there's a tiny ghost man here. Anybody care to introduce me?
That's Church. Yeah, he
Church,
had me for a
he's
while,
back.
but I knew he
He's
would come
back,
back.
Caboose.
Bullshit. You were totally depressed. What? No.
I never
No,
lost
Taco.
faith.
You're not remembering that right. No, I would not do something like that. I would not spiral downward into an emotional state of evidence and try to fill with the remains of a mechanical pet just because I missed church.
Oh, I'm so happy they're all
Oh,
together
forget
again.
You. I want to analyze him.
Dr. Gray, this is Agent Carolina.
I don't know if you want to
She and
analyze
I were
Caboose.
operatives for Project Freelancer. As for Church, he's an artificial intelligence fragment from the same organization.
Yes.
Codenamed Epsilon. And to make a long story short, he kind of used to be the leader of Blue Team before I showed up.
Yo.
He tried to murder us.
That was a misunderstanding.
I know, I'm just saying, just don't gloss over the good parts. At least he didn't abandon us.
Psycho and
Hey, everyone's back together though.
everyone.
Oh boy, can I go first? I have got a lot of things crammed inside me. Hold on
Oh
just a
my
second.
god.
Wanna
Come
know
on,
what
Donut.
the name of Benedict Arnold Palmer is going on around
Benedict
here?
Arnold?
We've been tricked. We've been backstabbed. And we've been quite possibly
Yes.
bamboozled.
Get back on track with
whenever
that.
that shit starts happening,
Fuck.
it typically means you freelancers had something to do with it.
Project Freelancer is gone. We all saw to that.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Space Marine, stop corruption. That was the news article Locust brought General Dora when he suggested we find you. I always
Oh.
thought the title was meant to describe your appearances,
Interesting.
but no, I think I get what the writer was going for.
What I'm saying is that Project Freelancer isn't behind any of this.
Karan
This is
Industries.
something else.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
Come on.
And after we crashed, Carolina picked up a transmission. A couple of assholes were talking about selling cloaking equipment to another couple of assholes.
Mhm.
There's no way we're gonna let that slide. So,
'Cause that's
she
freelancer
decided
tech.
to leave. I decided to go with her. We figured you guys would be fine, okay? Oh yeah, totally. We were totally fine. Just doing our thing, hanging out, drinking
Okay.
margaritas.
Well, we
getting
gotta
captured by
get over this
mercenaries.
hurdle, too.
Great time.
That the fact that they just left them.
Man, Tucker, I am so sorry. I mean it. My sincerest apologies. I had no idea that you had turned into such a whiny bitch while I was gone.
Oh my god.
You still
Hey,
haven't
he's a good
grasped
shot
the
too.
concept of a hologram. Man, you're just having a really tough time today, aren't you, buddy?
Man, I thought we had issues.
Damn. They love each other.
Daytime television
That's the
drama.
best part.
That's some quality programming.
Maybe
Tough
Church will
love.
turn out to be someone's long-lost brother. I think we've had enough plot twists for one lifetime. And his real name is Horatio.
Oh, okay.
Watch it.
All right, enough. Tucker, there's no way they could have known all this would happen. Right now, we need to focus on the bigger issues at
Yeah,
hand,
Locust
even
and
if Epsilon
Felix.
is being a prick.
Oh, don't you start to.
We started investigating, and it didn't take long for us to realize that something was very wrong with this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Abandoned cities, soldiers everywhere. We kept to the shadows and gathered as much intel as we could.
Good,
And
more
what we
info.
found was worse than I had anticipated.
How so?
This third faction on Chorus, these space pirates,
Yeah.
have managed to acquire freelancer equipment and are manufacturing more advanced versions of it on a mass
The free
scale.
Project Freelancer got their
Versions
shit
that don't require the assistance
of an AI.
But how is that
Exactly. They got their
possible?
stuff
I thought
from the
UNSC
UNSC.
confiscated everything Project Freelancer ever created.
They did, but then they put those creations on a ship, and that ship crashed here.
Oh,
What?
damn.
Guys, don't you think it's a little weird
Shit.
that our transport vessel also happened to be carrying tons of weapons and vehicles, and that it just so happened to magically crash on a planet in need of those kinds of things?
What
Was that a
exactly are you suggesting?
sabotage?
Someone wanted our ship to crash.
Oh, shit.
So, what you're saying is...
Wait, but the Reds and Blues
no way
crashed
any of
the
us
ship!
could be responsible for the crash.
Well, yes.
Oh my
Why do you ask?
God.
Sir, this area
Oh my God!
What are you doing in there?
Oh, sorry, I just noticed you guys were using a really
Dude,
outdated web
now we got
browser. I went ahead and
Simmons
updated it for you.
is
Now it's the
responsible
one NASA
too.
uses. No need to thank me.
Those are the ship's navigation systems. You
God
can't just
damn
update
it.
that stuff.
Tell me about it. Once I started with the browser, I couldn't stop myself from changing the graphics card too.
Jesus Christ.
And the motherboard, and the fan, and oh, hey, by the way,
Just made a new
how
rig.
do you feel about acrylic window panels? The answer is, you love them.
Fuck off, man.
You guys are missing the point. Someone managed to ensure that freelancer equipment made it right here, to this tiny rock in the middle of space. These guys aren't just some asshole raiders and
They're
mercenaries.
calculated.
They're organized.
Yes.
And they've managed to work their way into our own forces.
Fuck.
In short, we have no idea who we can trust until we find the people behind all of this.
Okay.
I guess
hold
they
on.
realized
Aren't y'all
that
forgetting
if they
something
put the
here?
Reds and Blues on that ship, that it would work.
There are two armies that are ready to blow each other's brains out thanks to Locust and Felix. We've got to tell them they're being used.
Yeah,
That's
we gotta do that too.
not going to be easy.
What do you mean? You've got those teleporter cubes. That's how we got here, right?
Where's Doc,
Let's
by
just
the
zap
way?
ourselves over to the New
Still
Republic.
waiting to find
Tucker,
him.
We've only got a few of those things left. They're kind of tricky to use.
Yeah.
They put an enormous strain on a physical body, which, by the way, all of you have. That's not even the main problem, though.
True.
Those two mercenaries are thorough. They've got some sort of radio jammer set up that only allow broadcasting on certain frequencies.
Interesting.
And they monitor all other open channels.
They'll know
We
where
tried
you
to
are.
contact you when we overheard your radio transmission
Oh.
to Donut from the crash site. Not only did we fail, but Locust managed to trace the call back to this hideout.
That's where he was when we first
I
saw
doubt
him!
we'll have luck on our side again.
Yeah, and if they've gone through all this trouble just to keep their radios quiet, I can guarantee you they're not going to let you guys within a mile of Doyle or Kimball.
Holy
if they're not already by their
shit.
side, then their cloaked space buddies definitely are.
Yeah,
More
that's
intel.
gonna be tough.
We need the upper hand on these guys before we can even think about taking them on again. And to make matters worse, we don't have much time.
What makes you say that?
We managed to eavesdrop on a few conversations between the mercenaries and someone calling themselves Control.
Control, yeah.
They've got plans and protocols for just about everything.
Plans and
I want to bet
protocols.
they've got one for this.
That's the
Look at it
UNSC
this way.
Oversight
11
Subcommittee
people
Chairman.
on this planet know what's really going on. And until those 11 people are tracked down and killed, I'm talking about you guys, by the way, there's really only one thing these space pirates can do.
Chill.
And that's to finish what they started.
Okay, let's see. Oh my God. Oh my God!
Oh, wonderful. Duped by a freelancer posing as one of our own men. Can you taste the irony in that?
Fuck!
Kept your ego under control, they'd be dead by now.
Okay, no, we don't have the facts
Kinda.
to prove that, alright? So let's not, start throwing blame around or anything, okay? Please. Thank you.
These
You're
two,
welcome.
man.
Stop talking.
Gentlemen, I'm
Shit.
inclined to further chastise you for your most recent failure.
Fuck,
I
y'all
suggest we
fucked
focus
up.
on the opportunity at hand.
And exactly which opportunity is that?
The Reds and Blues are missing,
It won't be long before my scout team finds them.
perhaps. But all that truly matters is that you prevent them from making contact with their armies.
Contact?
Snipers shadowing
Is that
the
what the
generals as
song
we
is
speak.
about?
Marvelous. Then you are to transport back to your respective armies.
And pretend like
Report the
nothing
deaths of
happened.
the Reds and Blues.
Wow.
They will become the martyrs needed to push these people towards
Wow,
one
they're gonna lie and be like, yo, they died.
constitution.
Forcing everybody
Do I
else to
make myself
follow
clear?
through. This is fucked.
Crystal.
Shit. Things are getting tense. Wow, they're gonna use the Reds and Blues being absent because now they know if the Reds and Blues go back
We
in,
just want to look at it.
they're gonna
That's
get
what the UNSC
attacked.
guys said about the
Oh,
grip
they got
shot.
the
And I never
gear!
saw it again.
The what?
Meta's weapon. Grip kept it as a
Oh,
trophy
the
until
grip
UNSC
shot.
confiscated it.
Until then, I thought I was the only one man enough around here to cry, but Chris proved me wrong. It had sentimental value. Damn it,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
Hand over that
dude.
laser this instant. You can't tell me what to do. I outrank you again.
Yo!
Well, let's see you outright the amplifier shotgun!
Done. Fucking space laser, bitch. Yeah, this is taking forever. Hey,
Oh,
hey, wait a
man.
minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh
alright, yeah,
God,
here you
this
go.
again?
Thanks.
That's not
Why
nice.
is this so greasy?
You think that's bad? That's how I feel right now. being inside this body is like trying to breathe through a trash can.
Oh my god.
God damn it, I hate that.
Fascinating!
I
An
love that
AI with
everyone's
the
back
ability to
together,
jump from
man.
Soldier to soldier? Tell me, does he travel via your neural implants, or is it something more subtle?
Implants. All freelancer personnel have them.
I thought only the Alpha could do that. Yeah, just another trick I picked up from one of my old memory.
Whoa!
God, it
Whoa!
gives me a headache though.
Come on. Let's dismantle
He's
this thing and see
glitching!
what we can learn.
Hey, but
When we're done, you can have it back in one piece.
I really hope he's
Probably.
okay. He's like using too many of his other fragments and stuff like that.
Is my 5th favorite hobby, right behind destroying my enemies, but just ahead of karaoke.
No, thanks.
Oh, boy.
I think Epsilon and I have it handled.
What?
Why don't you catch up for a while?
Come on!
You've all been through a lot.
Okay, good. Stay
yeah,
behind.
I'd stick around for the reunion, but some of you guys still seem pretty pissed at me, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait for that to settle.
Aw, come on.
So,
What
how
now?
have you guys been? Shut up. Same old, huh? That's cool.
Oh, boy.
Well, I don't want to intrude on such a sweet moment of reconnection.
Yeah, she's like the new
I'm
one.
being polite. I'm actually far more interested in foreign technology. Bye!
Okay, bye.
Oh, dear.
She seems nice, right? I think she has a few screws loose. Oh, I could always help her out with that.
Oh,
Bow chicka
God.
bow.
Bow
Oh, come
chicka
on,
bow
dude,
wow.
it's been ages. Oh, bullshit. I almost forgot.
Freckles!
Where's Freckles? Oh, he probably has
Oh,
some screws loose
no.
Oh, you know what?
Fuck
think I'm
off,
just gonna go
man.
take
Yeah,
that laser
it's a
thing
great
after
time
all.
for everyone to go
I
their
got
own
time to
separate
see it.
ways.
I mean, it's just killing me not to, oh.
Come on, just walk away.
Nope.
Just walk
Got
away.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just walk away, dude.
Lisa.
Yeah, this is great. Church is back, you're back. It's like all of us made it back safe and sound in one piece. No problem.
Don't. You're making it harder for me.
Live.
Caboose. I'm not really sure how to tell you this without both confusing you and breaking your disturbingly fragile heart.
I am an emotional time bomb.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Caboose, I'm afraid this...
You have
all
the
that's
memory
left of
chip.
Freckles. It's his brain, sort of.
Freckles?
You're tiny.
You're so tiny now.
Oh, what?
So good to see you again. Who's
Oh,
a good boy?
my
Who's a good boy, Freckles?
So you're okay then?
Oh,
this is great.
God,
Now
something's
you can
left
get in
of
my
him.
pocket.
God,
You
I
don't
love
have to
the
worry about him
animation.
trying to kill you anymore.
I guess that is sort of bad.
Kind of.
Thanks for looking after Freckles Wash. You know, he can be a handful.
Oh, I thought my heart was
At this
gonna break.
All right, let's go for a walk, Freckles. Good. Wash is acting weird and dramatic again.
Oh,
Good to have you back,
boy.
Agent Washington.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah,
Back off,
I knew
lady,
it.
or I will put you in the ground.
I
Yeah,
love
what's
having
that?
everyone back together.
You were about to take it apart.
What did you think dismantle meant?
How did he manage to get the laser back?
He's deceptively heavy.
Whoa.
A-C-K-S.
He already looks fat, so that's saying something.
Chris, for the last time, put the laser.
Oh, yo, bro, what the fuck?
Okay. Look, that was an accident.
Oh, she's
I'm
gonna,
going to break your fingers now.
she's gonna whoop
me.
your ass, buddy.
Where did you find that rifle?
Hey, I picked it up after Carolina dropped it at the snow base. Are you even familiar with the International Dibs Protocol?
The pirates have been manufacturing these along with the armor enhancements.
Wow.
They've got facilities scattered around the planet.
So then you're sure it's man-made.
I'm positive. Why?
Oh.
Well, for starters, it isn't using human technology. It just fired some kind of modified
Oh,
plasma
what the
energy.
fuck? Are there
Very
aliens
deadly.
here too?
And pretty.
Plasma?
Alien energy source. I've seen it countless times in archaeological digs.
Wait.
Wait.
I thought you were a surgeon.
I have an IQ of 240. A prodigy can only
Yo,
catch people
200
so many
IQ
times before she needs
confirmed.
to find a hobby.
Jesus. Couldn't try cross-stitching?
I sewed them back up. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Didn't Felix say that he was paid in alien tech?
He
Yeah.
was paid in babies? The fuck? No.
Wait,
He was definitely carrying around an old plasma rifle.
the
But I
aliens
thought he said
here?
it was broken.
It's like
Junior,
it was.
maybe?
The Federal Army arranged a similar deal with Locust. They figured trading useless antiques for military assistance was a good deal.
So the mercs stock up on alien technology and hand it over to the pirates for reverse engineering.
Wow.
Giving them a new kind of weapon. Half human, half alien.
Holy
and every
fuck.
single one of them pointed at us.
Yep.
Fantastic.
They're like self-manufacturing their own army.
Else like this?
What about the future cubes?
The what?
Future cubes! The cubes of the future!
There you
They
go.
sound like the laser
Where's
cubes, right?
Doc? God damn it!
Deductive reasoning. They're related
keep
because
saying
they're both
this.
orange and glowing. So, if I heated your armor to 1,000 degrees, would you think you're related to Fahrenheit or Celsius? Oh, come on. There's clearly a
Because like the
resemblance.
future cubes kind of work like
Just like
armor
the
enhancements,
uncanny
right? Like
resemblance between
almost like temporal
apples and
displacement, but it's
fireballs.
like teleportation.
Or Bears in the Pacific Ocean.
So all this
Or
tech
the
is
Bears and the Dingleberry.
has the
Okay,
same
I get
source.
it. Hey, Griff, let me ask you a question. You ever get your sister confused with mustard? You know, since they're both yellow and cheap. Yeah, nice try. Still a hologram, by the way.
Oh my
Epsilon
god, I
right?
love you,
Yeah,
Alpha.
I know.
All right,
Which one
Epsilon,
is on me, actually?
Church.
Both types of equipment seem to utilize some form of alien engineering.
Yes.
But how did you know what the teleporters look like?
Because we had them in the canyon. Duh.
True.
You did? Yeah, they were awesome.
We found them while we were sneaking aboard our ship one night in an attempt to destroy the Blues. I mean, the Blues robot.
How is this all connecting?
Rest in peace.
Which reminds me, how did you guys teleport with those things? We can only figure out how to transport random junk. E-Doc.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank
gosh,
you,
that's right.
Lopez.
We did use them to defeat 2.0.
Oh, poor el amor de Dios. Okay, everybody, shut up.
Please.
Listen, if the same people making weapons on Chorus had cargo on our ship, then we might be able to find out who they are.
How?
A manifest?
Yep.
That's right. A transport ship that size would need to keep track of all its cargo.
So
Okay.
if we find
Wait,
the
so are we going
manifest,
back
we
to the
find out
ship?
who supplied the teleportation grenades.
So you think a bunch of evil bad guys working outside of the law
Are gonna leave a
worry
piece of
about
paper around?
What, you got any better ideas?
No.
Wait, are we
have our
going back to the crash
Half
site?
of us will travel back to the canyon and search Crash Site Bravo for the manifest.
Okay.
Split up.
Because the rest of us will be searching the other half of the ship. At
Oh.
Crash Site Alpha.
What? There's another site? I never even thought of that. I'm like, I'm such an idiot, dude. Half of the ship was missing, and the one that was the setting for the first season was Bravo, was Crash Site Bravo, which means Alpha had to come before. And I never thought of that until just now. Wow, man, what an incredible batch, dude. I just want to say first things first, like right out the gate, I love more than anything the fact that all of these characters are together again. That's probably like my favorite part of the entire episode. Everyone being back together was like one of the best things. Just like a big reunion that I was like, I've been hoping and waiting for this for so long. I did not think, I know that they showed off like Epsilon Delta, like in the previous season, like in season 10, when Epsilon was trying to go through the memories of like York's logs, but I did not expect to see every AI fragment of the director in this sequence. Like, it's just cool to just see how AIs work in the field, because I don't think we've ever seen something to this degree. So, like, showing, like, the capabilities of one AI and the fragments of that AI all working together is super cool. It just shows how advanced Alpha is, really, or Epsilon. I'm gonna just say Epsilon, Alpha, and Church interchangeably, just because it's like, I have to get used to just saying his name again, because it's been so long. But, I cannot believe that we saw all of these characters again. Each one of them is so emotionally tethered to the show and the series and the characters and the freelancers of the past. You know, when I see Delta, I think of York. When I see Theta, I think of North. And, you know, those were such emotionally invested parts of the show and parts of the series. For me, at least, I absolutely loved Project Freelancer. Even seeing some of the lesser, the less nice, like, AI, like Omega. Sigma was just kind of, like, chilling. So I wonder if he's going to be more relevant than any of these other characters, or if he's just gonna be in there just for like a, hey, I'm also over here, even though I kind of acted a fool with the meta and everything else like that. I could have never thought in a million years we'd see the Epsilon variants of these AI that we've come to know and love. And I'm surprised I still have my voice, man, just because I can't believe it. I can't believe we got to see all of these characters and all of these like little tiny moments in this one grandiose like display of AI capabilities. It's just a different way of looking at how AIs and freelancers work together, and you never really saw anything like this in Project Freelancer Saga, so it's still pretty cool. Like, usually we've saw like Delta was helping York with security, Theta was more so like was really useful with you know, combat efficiency when it came to North, and you know, using the sniper and using the bubble shield, and you know, that camaraderie and that synergy more than anything was super cool. But it's cool how everyone here is just like the brain power and the probability and the ratio and the chance of all of these things, coupled with someone like Carolina, who is completely capable of probably fighting all of these guys on her own, but the fact that she has like a pretty sophisticated AI just makes this look like an absolute display. And really, really, really impressive how they decided to use the AI in a different way for a sequence like this. So I really, really, really like the fact that you get to see all of these returning familiar faces that I never thought we'd see. I think that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. All right, guys, so back from all of that hype and excitement, I have sat down, rewatched the last 3 batches. I am back to taking notes, granted, not as crazy in-depth and not as lengthy as the previous seasons have been, but still enough for me to want to go back and talk about certain things in depth and get a second perspective on watching it now that I've seen it initially and gotten all my hype and excitement out of the way, and then the second time around actually putting pieces and things like that together. So we have Red vs. Blue Season 12 episodes 11, 12, and 13 titled Long Time No See, which is really great because we haven't seen Carolina or Epsilon in a really long time. The reunion with Carolina, Epsilon, and the Reds and Blues. And then Ketchup No Mustard, which is really clever for a name, but also the fact that Epsilon mentioned, like, oh, Griff, do you ever get your sister confused with mustard because they're both yellow and cheap? So yeah, I've basically gone back, rewatched the episodes, and I'm just going to talk about some major points here that I feel like are going to be relevant moving forward, some references, just basically breaking down the episode from point to point and just basically mentioning things like I have in the past for similar videos post-reaction. So I hope you guys look forward to that. So the first thing I want to talk about is that I really like the opening scene of this batch where Epsilon and Carolina kind of emulated, in a way, the scene between Delta and York in the first episode of Season 10, where York and Delta are, you know, moving in to kind of encrypt that security lock, and you had that one guard that was, like, watching, like, internet cat videos and griffball and stuff like that, and just kind of screwing around.
I hate to intrude, but you have not performed any work in the past 13 minutes and 42 seconds. That strikes me as rather inefficient.
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to, you know, how do you get a new window? Don't encourage him. He's already long-winded as it is. Thank God. Thought you two would never stop chit-chatting.
Ah, that's probably it then. You know, bad indicator or something. Or maybe it's that super soldier right behind you who's about to knock you out.
Yeah. What? Probably that last one. Just a guess. Sleep tight, Sam.
The AI are the ones that initiated that confrontation or that exchange, and then the freelancers came in and cleaned up. So I really liked how that was like a parallel, or at least it appeared to be a parallel of sorts to me, and it made sense because Epsilon has the memories of Delta. So I really, really liked that. I do appreciate the fact that they showed AI in a pretty sophisticated and unique way that we've never seen before. I put here AI manipulating enemies and the environment with high-speed calculations, analysis, and deduction. I think that scene in particular, like the entire first episode of just breaking down the scene, breaking down the probability, the calculations, the analysis, the percentage of how Carolina was going to get out of that situation, within 45 seconds of Alpha basically breaking down the entire scene. It kind of felt like an RTS strategy game playing out in real time, where he was also gathering information of his other memories, right? Theta was helping him, Delta was helping him, Gamma was helping him, and then we got to see some cameos of some other characters, Omega, Sigma, which was really, really cool. And it was just great to see all of the AI, because obviously these aren't the original AI that we've known since Blood Gulch Chronicles, but they are the remnant, they are the fragments of the memories of those same AI. So we still got to get the analytical side of Delta, the childish, trustworthy side of Theta, which is really great. I never thought I'd see Theta again, to be honest with you guys. Like, that was probably the best thing, the best, like, AI for me to see again. And he's talking about, like, oh, we're gonna get a dog. I just love Theta so much. He's probably my second, if not my favorite AI. But outside of Epsilon, because, you know, he's attached to the director and Church, and, you know, he's basically become like the new Church of the gang since the Alpha for Blood Gulch. And, you know, Church has always been my favorite character. So, you know, other than that, I think Theta and Delta are probably my two other favorite AIs. But yeah, it was just such a cool way to see how the AI are in the field, because we do see that from time to time for the other AI. And I did mention it in the reaction where Delta still has those same probability mentions and points when he was with York, and obviously in the field when it came to decrypting the locks and stuff like that. Theta helped out York a lot during his training simulation with the bubble shield. So it's cool to see like the practicality of the AIs from the freelancer side, but this was just all AI. So I really appreciated seeing things through the eyes of the AI more than anything, because they also process time way faster or slower depending on who you're talking to. We did get to see that these soldiers are running Charon Model 44s, and I initially thought, oh, these are Charon industry dudes, and that could still potentially be the case. They are space pirates, and it seems like the Charon industry dudes that we saw, right, Pillman and his gang, they seemed to be like space nomads as well, just kind of going around collecting shit and just kind of doing their own thing, almost like space pirates as well. And they had Charon utilities, like Charon equipment, so they're at least supplied by Charon Industries. I don't really know how deep that runs, but obviously as the episodes go in, it's very clear that there is a third party that no one is really kind of focusing or paying attention to. I feel like everybody and their mother is sick of hearing me say it already. Charon Industries, Malcolm Hargrove, UNSC. I feel like that's going to be the big reveal, because that's the one thing that was never addressed during the Project Freelancer saga, and I'm surprised it's taking this long. Like, I'm just waiting for the name to drop just so I can say, finally, I can actually just like say it with confidence instead of speculating and hoping that it is. I'll be really pissed off if I've been saying it this long and I'm actually wrong, but I don't think I am. But yeah, it still proves that Delta, while a memory of Delta, is still smarter than Epsilon, where he's like, oh, it's not the Model 44s that jam, you're thinking of the 42, and that's like, oh shit, the one with the logic is still the most logical of everybody. So I like that we're still seeing some distinction between the AIs. I did not know that Ada, well, how would I have known? We barely got Ada and Iota at all, but Epsilon reveals that they're actually twins. So that shit was actually really cool. He was like, oh, put the twins on it. And I'm like, twins? Like, even the AI were also twins to parallel the freelancers that they were meant for. So I thought that was like super awesome. And again, just goes to show that every AI was specifically calculated and chosen specifically for their freelancers, which is why everything went to shit when Carolina suggested that Sigma go to some, you know, go to a meathead like Maine, unfortunately. So I'm really surprised that they showed off that. That was something brand new that I didn't know that they were twins. I just thought that they were two AI that were created alongside each other. I didn't realize that they were both specifically created for North and South Dakota. Actually, no, I don't think they were planned for North and South, because didn't North get Theta before Ada and Iota were made? So that's just a little confusing. Now that I think about it, that these two AI are twins, but North didn't get one of them. You know what I mean? It almost seems like Ada and Iota were meant for the twins. So I actually kind of take that back. I roll back that a little bit. That he got Theta before Ada and Iota were even on the table for Carolina and South to have. Another thing that I noticed here was when Delta, Epsilon, and Theta were near each other. So Delta was the first AI created, right? He was the Alpha's logic. And I noticed that Delta, I think, is the only AI of the bunch that has the Halo Combat Evolved character model, which is the first Halo game. So I wonder if they did that intentionally, like, oh, you know, because Alpha looks probably like the most sophisticated of all the AI, because, you know, he's also in that animation effect. But yeah, I just noticed that now, that he's in the Combat Evolved variant of like the character model, and he's also the first AI of his kind of the fragments of Alpha. So I thought that was a really cool reference as well. I don't know if any of you guys noticed this too. This might be a Gamma joke, but in one of the scenes where Theta was like, oh, the door, you know, you can use the door as a shield. And he was like, oh, nice job, kiddo. And he was calculating the trajectory of the door. On the bottom right corner, it said www.knockknockdoors.com, which we all know Gamma as the, you know, as the AI with the bad knock-knock jokes, which transferred over to his freelancer in question being Wyoming, or vice versa. One of them adopted the bad knock-knock jokes, which I think it was Gary/Gamma. So knock knock, you know, you knock on the door, knockknockdoors.com. So I wonder if that was just like a little Gamma thing put there, because we did see Gamma shortly after that point. But yeah, that entire sequence was great. There was one thing that Theta did say that made me kind of question what's going on with Carolina. So when they were calculating, they're like, all right, we calculated the enemies, we calculated the door and the aim and all that stuff, but let's see how Carolina is doing. She's not sleeping very well. And Theta mentioned that she's been having bad dreams about the enemy, and then Sigma shows up.
She hasn't been sleeping well.
She's been having bad dreams about the bad guy.
No, Theta, she's fine. Don't worry about it.
So I'm wondering if she's having like post-traumatic stress dreams of like Sigma, you know, controlling Maine, going after her, trying to kill her, you know what I mean? Like, because up until that point, we thought that Maine and Sigma, or the meta in Sigma, killed Carolina. And, you know, obviously Carolina having a lot of that guilt about giving Sigma to Maine, and that causing everything to trickle down because of that decision, even though she didn't know what was going to happen necessarily. And again, Sigma just shows up when he says that and then flashes back out. So I don't know if the memories of Sigma are still like residual to like the original Sigma, like if we're going to see what his plans were, what he was using Maine for to begin with. Why was he so interested in seeing how an AI was being created back when the director was making Epsilon and all that other stuff? But I'm still pretty sus of Sigma, just because we don't know what his memory version is like compared to the original. Everybody else seems to kind of be in unison with Epsilon, but the fact that he says that and then Sigma like flashes in, I wonder if Sigma and the meta in Maine have something to do with Carolina's bad dreams, because, you know, he said, Theta said like she's having bad dreams about the bad guy. And we don't know who the bad guy is. We don't know who the mastermind of this chorus war is. So I think, if anything, it's who she envisions a bad guy being. And it's the one that was hunting her down and fighting her and drove her friends apart, which, again, was partially Sigma and the meta. Another thing that I just want to say really quick about Epsilon in particular is that clearly he is a remnant of Alpha, which is the byproduct of the director's memories. And we know the director never served in the war, which is why Alpha was a terrible shot and was never able to shoot or kill anybody with the sniper. And I love that kind of transferred from the director to the Alpha to Epsilon, because Epsilon, out of all the choices that he made for the outcome of Carolina's encounter with these soldiers, he chose the route that didn't kill anyone but knocked everybody out. And I'm wondering if, again, that's a byproduct that goes all the way back to the director never serving in the war, or if he's just a benevolent and merciful artificial intelligence. You know, he's not out for blood. He's not out to get anybody. He's better than the director. He's better than all of his other fragments, and he's the amalgamation of all of them. You know what it kind of makes me feel like? It kind of feels like he's, and it's weird to say this because Epsilon in and of himself is a fragment of the Alpha, but it almost feels like Epsilon is like Epsilon Alpha. You know what I mean? Like, he is an Epsilon version of the Alpha. The same way that he was able to make Epsilon Tex, which is, you know, Texas, granted, she is a memory, she's the failures, she was also the beta. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that he was still able to create an Epsilon variant of the beta, you know, which was supposed to be a carbon copy of the Alpha. And it's weird because I almost want to call Epsilon Alpha, because that's basically what he is. He's kind of like the whole. He's a complete AI, or he feels more like a full AI than a fragment. You know what I mean? Like he's going into his memories and like pulling memories of himself and actually talking and having conversations. He mentioned at one point, you know, in episode 13 that he was able to hop bodies because of what he learned from a previous memory, which that would have been Omega during his time in Blood Gulch Chronicles. So it's crazy to me that he's gathering. it's almost like he's becoming more like self-aware of an AI. I don't know if this is metastability at work, but he seems more like a full AI than a simple fragment. Way more so than any of his other counterparts. And I think it's because he is the combination of all of them. So in a way, he is kind of this pseudo alpha fragment. Because now I'm thinking to myself, well, how is Epsilon any different from the alpha right now? Like practically speaking, like what can alpha do that Epsilon can't do right now? You know? So I don't know. It's just weird. He almost feels like he's the alpha, not necessarily just the memories of the alpha or the memories of the director. So that's something that I was also thinking about, and I like how, again, it recalled to, like, him not going the killing route, but the knockout route, like, just kind of a way of reflecting how Alpha wasn't able to kill or shoot anybody, and it's because the director never served in the war. So I liked that as well. The best freaking thing about the first episode, though, and I've talked about this in the past as well, I think it was the Season 10 review, or the Season 10 breakdown, is, like, I was wondering, like, what's the relation to Carolina and Epsilon now? Because they're both products of the director, but one is literally the memories of the alpha, of the director. So is that like her stepdad? Is that still her dad? Is that her brother? And he called Carolina sis. So I think it's confirmed that that Epsilon and Carolina are technically related. They're siblings, which I really, really liked how he was like, all right, sis, it's all up to you. I'm going to put things in your head, knock it out of the park. I trust you. I have faith in you. And I just love that. I love that there's like this sibling relationship between the two of them now, because, you know, obviously the father and mother dynamic must have been really hard for Carolina growing up, to where she lost her mother. Her father was very distant and cold and aggressive in his research and aggressive in his ways of you know, the project and everything like that, and trying to contribute in some way to both the war and bringing his wife back. And, you know, I feel like she never really had that family dynamic that she deserved, having a mother and a father. So it's really cool that someone like Epsilon, who has learned from all of the mistakes that the director made and learned to let go, something the director was never able to do, especially with Texas, is able to have that really, I don't know, it's kind of like the sibling not rivalry, but it's like they butt heads a bit, but they're siblings. They love each other at the end of the day. They go through their shit. They're there for one another. You know, they butt heads a bit, but it's all banter. It's all fun and love. And I really appreciate and really liked that about them two, that I can see them two as brothers and sisters, as brother and sister, the same way that, like, I almost see Theta as being like the little brother of, you know, or see Epsilon as being the big brother to someone like Theta. And, like, I don't know, I can see like a whole family dynamic of just the fragments alone, you know, Delta being like the uncle. I don't fucking know. It's weird, but yeah, I really, really like that. And, it's just cool that they mention that, because I never thought that would be something that I get to look forward to moving forward, of like, holy shit, they're actually like brother and sister. So that was really cool. So the encounter ends up happening. I noticed that, like, Carolina punches the helmet off of that one space pirate the same way that Maine, like, well, not the same way, but like the helmet coming off is a clear reminder to me of like how Maine did that to like that big, like, beefy, tanky dude back in season 10, where he just like winded up and punched that guy so hard, his, like, I think his head actually came off, not just his helmet.
Ah, you bitch!
And that was payback for him shooting Maine in the throat back in the season 9 highway spiral mission scene. And then this obviously explains what Carolina has been up to, gathering intel, gathering information, figuring out like bits and pieces of things regarding Felix and Locust, regarding Control, and obviously the helmet change is the helmet change makes sense for how she was able to slip into the ranks of Locust in the last batch. And I think that's what that was like the biggest takeaway of the episode. It's like what she's been up to and how did she slip into Locust's ranks. It also explains how she switched her armor helmet from Rogue to Recon. However, that is kind of a slight retcon, because technically she already had the recon helmet on at the end of season 10 when she's talking to Epsilon, you know, at the top of the cliff when, you know, when everything is said and done before they head out. She already has the recon helmet on. I get it. Retcon. They explained it here. It makes sense here.
She wasn't around a lot when I was a kid. And when she was, she could only stay a short time. Seems like she always had somewhere else to be. Something important to do. And when she left, she wouldn't say goodbye to me. Instead, she always told me, never say goodbye. If you don't say goodbye, then you aren't really gone. You just aren't here right now.
But nonetheless, she did have the original rogue helmet back in seasons, you know, back in the previous seasons where she was in them. So at least it makes sense now why she has recon and has swapped between that. So that is episode 11. Episode 12, pretty straightforward for the most part. Obviously the big reunion, getting the Reds and Blues back with Carolina and Epsilon. A lot of heads butting, a lot of emotions flaring more than anything. The sibling bickering between Carolina and Epsilon was great too, because we got one in episode 11 and we got one in episode 12, so I really liked that.
You set off the motion sensor, Carolina? It's amateur hour.
You're supposed to disable the motion sensors?
Well, I couldn't do that until I got in the room.
And I couldn't get you into the room without setting off the motion sensor.
But you could. You just didn't.
Can we just get into the database?
Hey, way to go, Carolina. Taken out by an oversized steak knife.
Well, maybe if someone had remembered to account for hidden blades.
Hey, I'm an AI. I'm not a babysitter.
I don't know if anybody else was in the same boat as me, but like that first exchange between Carolina and Emily Gray, where she was like,
how bad is it?
Well, fortunately, you missed your femoral artery.
That's good.
No, sweetie. You had a knife inside of you. That's the opposite of good.
Call me sweetie again? And there'll be a knife inside of you.
Ooh, you're hostile. I'd love to psychoanalyze you.
In my mind, I was like, someone has to have shipped those two based on that first interaction alone. I'm 100% sold on that someone out there ships Emily Gray and Carolina. And then she also mentions like psychoanalysis for everybody, because let's be honest, I think everybody here, not just Carolina, not just Washington, I think everybody could honestly use some therapy for all the shit that they went through. You know, Griff and Simmons with Sarge, you know, the ups and downs between Blue Team and everything else like that. Clearly everyone needs some psychoanalysis and some much needed therapy after everything that they've gone through, from Blood Gulch to Valhalla to, you know, the Planet of Chorus and everything else in between, the meta, the director, O'Malley, you know, the aliens, the Great Destroyer, Gary, all that shit. So that was really cool to just get that little moment there between Emily and the rest of the gang. There is one thing though that I'm starting to realize, and I'm wondering, I honestly feel like it's going to be Washington that puts the pieces together first, because I don't really know how involved everybody else was, like the other freelancers, for example. I don't know how involved everybody else was when it came to the intricacies of Project Freelancer. Like, did any of them know where they were getting their equipment, their armor, their AIs, like any of that shit, like any of the assets? Obviously, the director would know, the counselor would know. It makes sense to that degree because, you know, they're the ones running the operation. But I don't think the soldiers, who are ultimately the tools of the director and the project as a whole, would really know.
These suits, wherever they came from, are designed to handle a full AI. And as you are so fond of telling us, these are not full AI. They are just fragments. And from what I can tell, the newer ones are getting weaker all the time. So I want them both.
Other than Washington, because Washington has had a run-in with Malcolm Hargrove. I don't know if he knows that that's who that was or whatever, but clearly when he switched sides and decided to help the meta and be rid of Project Freelancer and everything and go against the Reds and Blues, he sided with Malcolm Hargrove to get Epsilon back.
Now, Agent Washington, I just have one more question for you.
No, Donut, come on, stay with me. Stay with me, Donut.
Agent Washington?
Don't just stand there.
Agent Washington, are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Agent Washington, when you find these blue soldiers that you're talking about, What makes you think that they are just going to give you the Epsilon unit when you ask them for it?
And I'm wondering if Wash is going to be the first one to notice that, because there are some Project Freelancer parallels here for what Griffin Sarge said.
I want to know what in the name of Benedict Arnold Palmer is going on around here. We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
Yeah, and whenever that shit starts happening, it typically means you freelancers had something to do with it.
Everything was approved and granted by the Oversight Subcommittee chairperson, right? AI, research and development bases, armor assets, everything was given and approved by the UNSC, by Malcolm Hargrove, like that one memo that was given during the Meta's transition. He even mentions, he's like, yo, we give you guys all the equipment, all the assets you need. If we give you more bases, it's going to be harder for us to keep tabs on you, but we'll trust you right now because you guys are a big asset. We trusted you with the AI. We trusted you with these armor enhancements, these abilities, you know, like CT's armor.
Dear Director, the loss of military equipment is a severe infraction. I should not need to remind you that all UNSC property, especially our more experimental technologies, must be kept from the hands of our enemies at all costs. In these trying times, vigilance is paramount. Dear Director, your request for more bases in which to conduct your experiments was reviewed with much reservation by our chairperson. Project Freelancer has been entrusted with one of our military's most valuable assets. Oversight becomes a much more difficult process if your operations are not centralized. Nonetheless, we have granted your request. However, we reserve the right to revoke this approval as we see fit. I sincerely hope this does not happen and anticipate you will not give us an occasion to do so.
So yeah, I think Washington is probably my best bet at being able to put 2 and 2 together by the time they go and find this the shipping manifest and figuring out like who's behind this and why. It seems like, you know what I mean, like Sarge and Griff basically were like, oh, whenever something like this goes on, it's always a freelancer business, and it's like Project Freelancer is gone, but Project Freelancer was being fed by someone else, and that same someone else is kind of having their cake and eating it too elsewhere. So, you know, in that regard, that's why I feel like the parallel is still there, and hopefully Washington can come to that conclusion, because he was the one, in my opinion, I think he's the one that would be the most reliable to remember or recount, like, oh shit, I completely forgot this one guy. He was super interested in getting, you know, the everything back, like the meta. You know, he was interested in keeping tabs on Wash. He was interested in getting Epsilon back and all that other stuff. But I'm glad Church is back. Like I said, he's my favorite character. The immediate banter, the immediate shit talk. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were such a whiny bitch since I was gone, Tucker. It was just great to just have them all back together. I like that one mention that Donut was like, imagine Church is someone's long lost brother. Technically it's Carolina, but that was also like a little cool nod to the fact that, like, yeah, they are brother and sister. So that was really cool. The planned crashed ship. Simmons. Everybody but the one person that I thought would actually be responsible for the crashed ship, being Caboose. Everybody but Caboose is partially responsible for why the ship crashed. I don't know if the UNSC or Malcolm or Charon or the Space Pirates had someone on the ship that was supposed to sabotage it internally, and they were just like, well, we got the Reds and Blues on here. Something's bound to go wrong if we have them here. But the planned crashed ship is such a revelation, especially when you come to realize that they had all of the AI technology on the ship as well. And in order to not raise suspicions, right, let's circumvent these Project Freelancer, you know, technology, the equipment, abilities, armor, weapons, vehicles. Let's put it on this ship. Let's have it crash land coincidentally, and have that be what fuels our operations without raising any eyebrows. You know, because if Malcolm is in fact the UNSC leader and the Charon Industries leader, it's going to be hard for him to play both sides, because then he's just raising suspicions. So if he's just like, hey, I put these on a ship, wanted to bring them back, the ship, it crash landed on a planet, I got nothing to do with that. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, he's also fueling the space pirates, Locust and Felix's war to try to kill off all of these other people on the planet while simultaneously pretending like he's none the wiser. And then at the end of the day, he pays the mercenaries, he gets that planet, wipe his hands clean, and he's all good. But yeah, the plan as of right now is really well planned and calculated. Keep Doyle and Kimball close, have snipers on them. If anything happens, kill them off, send everybody else into disarray, try to keep things as calculated as possible as of right now. So keep Doyle and Kimball close to, if not the mercenaries, the space pirates. Use the Reds and Blues as a martyr to push both sides to go for one final clash, and hopefully that will, you know, lead to the most bloodshed and the most deaths to make things easier for Felix and Locust, and simultaneously hunt down the Reds and Blues. And that makes sense. I hope that the privates of the Reds and Blues, right, Jensen, Bitters, Smith, and Palomo, hopefully they go out looking for the Reds and Blues or trying to avenge them and they come across them, because that would add even more, you know, resistance to Felix and Locust. I do feel like to some degree they will find out who's behind it first and foremost, right? Malcolm Hargrove, they have to go to the crash site Alpha. Went right over my head. Never even questioned why, like, the first site, the site of season 11 was Crash Site Bravo. Never put in my head, well, what happened to Crash Site Alpha? Where is Crash Site Alpha? Is that going to be a thing? Is the other half of the ship just floating in space like some Halo, you know, Halo 3 ending type shit? But yeah, it's really cool that they saved that for last, and that's going to be a big point of, that's going to be a big point, a big plot point for the next episode of finding the shipping manifest, finding out who, you know, orchestrated all of this. And I think next week next week technically for the upload, but in the next batch for me to watch, I think hopefully next week we get confirmation who is actually behind this, or they might save that for the finale, because I do have one more batch after next week's batch for the finale of season 12. But I don't know. I'm just wondering how all of that's going to fare. Rest in peace to the Griff shot, by the way. I wonder if the Griff shot is on the ship too, because they said that they put all the Project Freelancer tech on the ship, and then that ship crash landed here. So the Griff shot might actually be on this planet. Griff might actually have his reunion with his favorite weapon of all time, and like a super iconic one at that. So it might be on, because there were some like cargo crates that were in the Bravo crash site of the ship where Washington was when he was making the helmet for Caboose. But then crash site Alpha is probably where all of like the really useful shit was, probably, like, because crash site Bravo had like the food and stuff like that, so crash site Alpha probably had all the weapons and tech that would help the space pirates out more than anything. One thing about this episode really worries me, or has me very concerned, with Alpha in particular. He mentioned that he learned how to jump from person to person to the Alpha, you know, from a previous memory, and clearly he's referring to Omega, because Omega did that during Blood Gulch Chronicles. And then he started feeling like woozy, and he started like glitching out a little bit.
An AI with the ability to jump from soldier to soldier? Tell me, does he travel via your neural implants, or is it something more subtle?
Implants. All freelancer personnel have them.
I thought only the Alpha could do that.
Yeah, just another trick I picked up from one of my old memory buddies. God, it gives me a headache, though.
And I wonder if the Alpha, if he operates, you know, because he's still a fragment, how he operates like a regular AI. How many years has it been since the Alpha has been in operation? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Epsilon, sorry. How long has Epsilon been in operation since his creation? Has to be a few years at this point. It doesn't feel like it, you know, but clearly years have passed since Project Freelancer. My guess is maybe like 5 years at least. And, you know, because Project Freelancer happened many years ago to the present day, and even from present day to where we are now with Chorus, I'd reckon at least 2-3 years have passed since then, at least. So I wonder if Epsilon is reaching those final terminal years of an AI where they eventually go rampant and shut down. I don't know necessarily. I don't know if it's like his life expectancy is catching up to him, or if it's just the fact that he's, you know, he's referencing and he's like harnessing all of these different fragments, and it might be a little bit too much for him to handle as a fragment himself, right? We saw Delta, we saw Theta, we saw Omega, we saw Sigma, we saw Eta and Iota. He's doing the abilities of, you know, taking over other people as hosts like Omega, but he's a simple fragment. And the same thing happened kind of when he was glitching out, when he was going into the memories of Delta and York for the logs back in season 10.
Why did you show me that?
Because I know what it's like to spend your life chasing ghosts.
And so I don't know. I don't know if it's a technical thing. I don't know if it's because he's pushing himself too hard, his capabilities. But that does kind of worry me, because I don't really know. Because it's like, we lost the director, we lost Alpha, we lost Epsilon for a little bit too in the memory unit, and then he came back, and then he left with Tex. I'm sorry, he left with Carolina, and then he came back. So I just don't know how I'm gonna feel, or what anyone's gonna feel like if he goes away for good. You know what I mean? Due to like if it's his life expectancy, if it's his time to go, then that's one thing. But like, I just don't want it to be something that can be preventable. You know what I mean? Because he's been such a treat to have, and to have return. And I'm just really hyped and excited to see how he contributes moving forward, especially with someone like Carolina and everything that he's been through, and him having his second shot at life alongside Carolina and Washington after everything they went through with Project Freelancer, especially him remembering the memories and the tortures of everything that happened, you know. But I don't really know. I don't really know the fate of a smart AI. You know what I mean? He's what's left. And I don't know if we'll ever see something like that moving forward. But yeah, that just has me, that just has a little red flag in the back of my mind, wondering like, what does this mean for, what does this mean? What does this mean for the Reds? What does this mean for the Blues? What does this mean for anything moving forward? But yeah, and that Caboose scene almost fucking killed me. I honestly was like, wait, Caboose is gonna flip this around. He's gonna see that memory chip, and he's just gonna be like Freckles, oh my god, you're so tiny. And thankfully, that's what happened. I was expecting something, because like the music started playing, and I was like, no, this is gonna get so emotional. Everyone else walked away. Sarge was like trying to be funny or try to be witty, and he's like, nope, I got nothing. It's like, I'm dying to, it's killing me. I got nothing. I'm out of here, you know? So, that scene too, but I'm surprised that he kept it well under wraps, especially because Church is back in the picture, but that still doesn't mean that he's just gonna completely dismiss Freckles. I don't know if that memory chip of Freckles is like mined is gonna be relevant down the road, right? Like, why give it to Church? Why give it to Caboose if nothing else is gonna come from that? So maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll find another Assault class Mantis and put that memory chip in there, and he gets his second best friend back. Who knows? For the most part, I really did like this batch of episodes. I also noticed I'm an emotional time bomb. I remember seeing, I think, posters or shirts of that quote a few years ago. Like, I think when I went to RTX, I saw a lot of people wearing that. I think they also sold the posters of that at the Rooster Teeth store during my first RTX. I think it was 2016 is around the time that I saw that. So I remember that quote being really, really popular. But yeah, everything else is kind of interesting, how they're putting together like the alien weapons and how that applies to Karan Industries' weapon supply, right? And that's how Felix and Locust have been getting paid. So they're getting paid in munitions, giving it to the Space Pirates. Space Pirates are re-engineering it, pointing it back at the Reds and Blues, and further fueling the war, further fueling their munitions, and basically like beefing up their army reserves. And then the future cubes are kind of in that same vein, because I even mentioned that the future cubes reminded me of the teleporters from Blood Gulch, which again, the Blood Gulch base was given through authorization of Oversight Subcommittee. And if Charon is also applied to this with the future cubes, that teleportation technology, the same way the teleportation technology was in Blood Gulch, both come from the same source, I think, at least. Or that's how I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm right. This is all still speculation until we know for certain who is behind this. I think it's the Oversight Subcommittee chairperson. I think it's Malcolm Hargrove. I think he's the UNSC guy and the Karan Industries guy. Don't know why he's playing both sides. Maybe he's just a greedy bastard, you know what I mean? He wants to have his cake and eat it too, and he wants that power and authority to do whatever it takes, or to do whatever he wants and get away with it. I really have no clue, but Crash Site Alpha is where we're heading. So we're going back to Crash Site Bravo, so that's going to be kind of interesting to return to where it all started for this trilogy. But Crash Site Alpha is the new location, and I really hope they find something. I really hope they give us some solid evidence and information, and they start really asking and putting 2 and 2 together and finding out who this is. Because if it's Malcolm, I'm just going to be like, why the fuck didn't you guys figure this shit out sooner? I've been on this for like seasons at this point. I think I first came to that conclusion like in season 9 or season 8 or yeah, I think season 9 was when I started putting 2 and 2 together. But yeah, I think that's all of the thoughts and points that I wanted to make. Also, the Project Freelancer enhancements, I think I'm gonna put like a little point at the beginning, like during the reaction, to kind of emphasize the Project Freelancer enhancements, because during my reaction I wasn't like, my mind was like going like 20 miles an hour because of all of the cool shit that I was seeing. So I didn't really remember necessarily all of the Project Freelancer enhancements at the time. But obviously now I kind of understand where all of them come from. Carolina has the speed boost. York had the healing unit, the holographic projection with CT, active camouflage text. Adaptive camouflage was Carolina. She had 2 abilities. Temporal distortion was Wyoming. The energy shield, the bubble shield was North Dakota. The EMP was Washington. I think the strength boost was Maine. It just makes sense, right? He's already a fucking tank, so like adding that extra strength, I'm pretty sure that was Maine. The enhancement motion trackers, this one kind of caught me off guard a little, because I think we only saw this once, but it was actually North Dakota in the episode The Twins, where he was following everyone on the motion trackers, and he was telling his sister to set your trackers, so, you know, otherwise he won't be able to detect, like, or otherwise it was going to be hard for him to keep, you know, to be her eyes. And then Bioscan, I think, was Washington. There's also the overshield that the meta had, but that's not accounted for here. And Carolina has 5 of these. She has Bioscan, EMP, or EMP, adaptive camo, the healing unit, and the speed boost. So she's got quite a bit of these under her belt. I'm assuming the rest of these were confiscated after... Again, I do think, because the UNSC showed up at the base, showed up after the fight with the meta, and, you know, when Washington faked his death. I wouldn't be surprised if they retrieved the meta's body out of like the ice water. You know, obviously he drowned, and I wouldn't be surprised if they recovered like all of his armor enhancements and stuff like that, because he had like 5 of them. Like, he had most of these because, you know, he hunted down all of the other freelancers and got all of that, and he was used as an asset by Malcolm Hargrove to get Epsilon. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of these are back in Malcolm Hargrove's possession, or if they're even on the ship that crashed and now the space pirates have them, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, those are all of my thoughts. Those are my speculations. Those are all my notes. I'm sorry that if it felt very rushed or very bullet pointy. I do feel like I don't want to linger too much on like the afterthoughts necessarily, just because I do want to kind of still keep things moving. I am going to be hopefully watching the next batch after I edit this together, because I have been a little bit delayed. Ruby is starting within the next week, and I just want to make sure that I have a good stride going to kind of be up to date on watching these reaction batches in bulk and setting them up, so that way you guys have videos week to week. But I do appreciate, more than anything, all of the support. I do appreciate those of you guys who have tuned in and have hung out and have watched these, you know, from start to finish especially, and have been enjoying my reactions, my hype, my excitement. This batch was really great. This is something that I've been waiting for since season 10 ended, you know what I mean? I wanted to see Caroline and Epsilon so badly, and I didn't realize that we weren't going to see them at all during season 11, and then we had to wait halfway to season 12 to get the big reunion. But I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad to have all the characters back together. Everyone's on the same page, and hopefully we're going to be moving forward, figuring out who the mastermind behind this war is, and hopefully being able to kind of come to a better plan of how to deal with Felix and Locust, how to inform Kimball and Doyle without anyone dying or getting caught up in the crossfires. But yeah, those are all of my thoughts. Those are my expectations. Those are my speculations. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And of course, I'd like to give a very special thank you to all of the support that you guys have shown over on Patreon for the, you know, your kindness, your generosity, your support, your patience more than anything. I know this batch has been really delayed compared to when it was supposed to originally come out, and I do apologize for that. And hopefully, I just want you guys to know if there are delays, I will let you guys know on Patreon as soon as possible. I'll let you guys know on YouTube as soon as possible. But I do want to still stay committed to finishing Core's Trilogy in 2020. There might be some breaks here and there, not breaks, but like there might be some delays here and there because I've never dealt with two big series like this at the same time, Ruby and Red versus Blue, and I don't want to get too burnt out, but at the same time, I do want to give each of these shows their due diligence, so I do appreciate that. And I want to give an extra special thank you to those of you in the Seasonal Maiden tier and higher, and that goes to AIMEE, BURGESS, Armadillo, Blue Rat 138, Chaz LAZRATION, Danny STALLGATE, Luke Marshall, Ride the Lightning, Scott Porter, SUPERMONAMAN, The Disturbed Guy, Travis Ray, Triggered Fiend, Vera Ohio, Diesel75, Zach Feifal, Bungle Queen, Ezra Lee, GOTEKAI, Jacob EYER, Jamie Coleman, Jonathan Hall, JUUBEARSKI, KIBA BOWDAWAY, Matthew Trapp, and Michael. Thank you guys all so much for the support. I really hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I hope you guys enjoy the continuous reactions for Red versus Blue, Ruby, everything else that I'm going to be doing for the closeout of 2020. But thank you guys all so much, and I will look forward to you guys in the next one. Take care. Hey guys, so I just wanted to put this little insert at the end here just to kind of inform you guys, you know, because I did mention at the beginning that I wanted to have a little statement, a little message here at the end. I'm not dropping Red versus Blue or anything. It's just based on why the last 2 weeks were at a delay. At the time of me recording, the video is 2 weeks delayed. 2020 has been awful. It really has, from the election to COVID-19 to self-quarantining, not seeing friends, not seeing family, any of that other stuff. And I kind of went through a little bit of a traumatic moment in the last couple of weeks. A really good friend of mine passed away. My brother's best friend passed away. And it's very hard for me to process death sometimes because I've only had 2 people in my life who were very, like, impactful passed away that genuinely affected me. My dad passed away when I was a freshman in high school, and Monty passed away in 2016. I think those are the only 2 deaths that I've ever, like, dealt with in my life, or deaths that directly involved or impacted me. You know, I've never had, like, a sibling or any other family members or direct family members pass away. I've known my brother's best friend. I've known him since him and my brother became friends, since they were in middle school together. I have so many memories of, like, watching them, babysitting them, and them hanging out at my house. We play Smash Brothers together. We'd hang out. Him and my, like, it really took a hit from my younger brother, and we're actually going to be spending some time together this week just to kind of mourn and think about him, and for me to try to help my brother through that. But that really just fucked me up. Like, I don't process death really well. It really numbs me to a lot of the stuff happening around me, right? Ruby's happening this upcoming weekend. It hasn't hit me yet. Next gen consoles come out next week, right? PlayStation 5, the new Xbox. It hasn't hit me yet. You know, and I'm surprised that this batch of episodes for Red versus Blue actually got me hyped and excited, because that's kind of like the first feelings of excitement that I've felt in a really long time. 2020 is just, that's what 2020 has been to me. It's just been like, I feel like a recluse. I feel like I've been stuck in my house for so long, and life is just passing me by, and I don't know. And I also feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm letting people down, and you guys are obviously pledging and supporting this on Patreon especially, and I just don't want anyone to feel like I'm just going to drop the show again, because I also feel like some people are afraid or scared that I'm going to stop it or I'm not going to keep up with it. And obviously I'm back to doing notes and research, so that's another big thing that that's on my plate, on top of Ruby, on top of other things. And I know I should have just taken my time. I know I should have just stopped and just told people, hey, I'm going to take a little break. I don't know, but content creation beckons. You know, Ruby's coming out. I have a lot of people who are looking forward to the reactions and the discussions and the live streams and stuff like that. And a part of me just feels like I can't stop. But I am trying my best to take care of myself, and if that means a video is going to be delayed by a week, if that means a video is not going to come out the time it's supposed to, and it's going to be a couple of days later, so be it. You know, if need be, I will remove the early access from Patreon, and it'll eventually come to YouTube when it's ready to be uploaded, if that's something that can salvage or at the very least quell people's expectations, you know, because I get it. If you're paying for something, you want it the day it comes out. This really just affected me, where I felt scared. I was like, this just happened, and how are people going to respond? And well, most of you guys were really understanding. You know, I've stayed off social media for as much as I can. I'm slowly getting back to RVB. I wanted to be done with season 12 at this point, but unfortunately, it lasted a lot longer than I had anticipated. But yeah, it's this year's just been really fucking tough. It's just been a really shitty year, the worst year in my life, I think. For everything, for growth, for just motivation, for energy, for morale, and everything else in between. This hasn't been my best year, me as a person, me as a content creator, and hopefully things get better, you know? But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know about that. I don't want to linger on too much beyond that, but that's just the reason why videos haven't been coming out relatively well. And I know I come out with an update like this every so often, which it's a bad habit, of course, but it's the truth, and I just wanted you guys to know about that. I am okay for the most part. It's just tough to think about, and I try to honestly, I think me getting back to videos is just a way of me, you know, being distracted and not having to think on it. But yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to let you guys know about. I am okay. I am fine. Slowly getting back to RVB. I'm really liking where this is going. Ruby is going to be coming out in the next week, so that'll be something else that I can look forward to doing on the channel. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate your guys' understanding, your patience, your support. And I am sorry to anyone out there who feels let down or who feels like it's constant excuses from me. This year's just been really fucking awful. Like, awful for me, as I'm not proud of this year. I'm not proud of 2020 and my performance on my channel, on my streams, or anything like that. And I just want it to be over and done with. But that's everything. Thank you guys, for those of you who have been understanding, who have been, you know, who've been supportive and who have looked forward to the content and ultimately care about my well-being. Thank you guys very much for that. And I will see you guys all very soon for the next batch of episodes. Thanks a lot, and take care.